where is it you wear the bandanas usually? To the ring?
I was wearing them to the ring, yeah.
Yeah.
This is when I was in WWE. And also Terry Funk wore them. The more you start losing your hair, the better it is to wear a bandana.
I read that you never wanted an ECW title.
Correct.
Why is that?
This was in the original ECW because you didn't need it. My opinion is titles are made to help guys get more established, and I was already established, so I didn't need it.
I read that you hated the fact when you finally won it at the end. That you said something about that you hated it.
I didn't hate it. It's just what we did. This is the original ECW.
Yes.
Yeah, what we did was really, really cool with Just Incredible and everything, and that was Paul's idea, and it worked out great because as soon as I won it, there's not one picture of me, I never wore the belt.
Yeah, you lost in 30 seconds, right? Something like
No, it was a little longer than that. We had a nice little speech. I don't know exactly how long, but
yeah, it
I
was
lost it.
45 minutes or something like
Something like that.
that. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But not hated it. Yeah, I was proud, man. But it was at the time, a great, amazing angle, never been done before. Will never be done again.
So you liked it? You actually liked it?
It was awesome. Yeah, it worked out
cool.
great.
I thought you hated it. They said
Don't believe everything you
I know,
read
this is
on
why
the
I'm asking.
worldwide internet.
This is why I was telling
Except
him
for
that
when they
yesterday.
say about my 14-inch penis. That is true.
I was telling him that yesterday. You don't believe everything. That's why you gotta ask the questions. All right. How did you feel about winning the watered down title in the WWE?
It was really, really good. Also because everything about me is pretty much real in the sense of all that behind the scenes was true. My contract was coming to an end. I was kind of at my last wits in the company, and I just said, you know what? Every year I'm the highest rated guy on this show, and yet you don't want to go with me, so let's see, and if not, if it doesn't work out, I'll leave. And it still did ratings, but things didn't change, so then I said, to me then it's personal and it's not business, because business, if you have ratings, you stay with it. And then I realized I couldn't do anything to better it myself, so I just didn't want to be stagnant and stale and said goodbye.
That's cool. You felt like that, 'cause I didn't think you was. I thought you would say you really didn't like it or something. I don't know.
No, it was awesome, man.
That's cool.
I mean, I have no animosity whatsoever towards WWE. You know, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Besides my own father, Vince McMahon has pretty much been the most influential man in my life. I mean, I've been hooked since I'm a kid, and it's a lot of his vision. And you know, you can't knock the guy's success. And I have a great relationship with him, and you know, it's just I didn't want to. I couldn't stand being there for other reasons, you know, and it wasn't anything on him. He asked me to stay.
I know you were office for the WWE and always threatened to leave. I don't know that you always threatened to leave. I know you was office. Who you used to threaten?
I don't understand your question.
The question
that I would
is
threaten
that
to
you would
leave?
threaten that you was gonna quit.
No.
No. Never happened.
When I worked in the office, my position was pretty much I was hiring I was the head of the developmental system, and I hired a lot of men and women that you see today. CM Punk, Beth Phoenix, Cody Rhodes, you name it, I hired them. Zack Ryder. The list goes on and on. I can't really think because you put me on the spot. But no, I never threatened I would leave. They would fire you if you threatened you would leave. I just, you know, I didn't have the opportunity. When I was wrestling, then they said, hey, we want to put you in the office. And I had 2 kids on the way. I said, all right, we'll see how it goes. I don't sweat. We all bleed red. We will all eventually die. I don't sweat any man or woman. You can't hold a job over me. I have my entire ECW career. I didn't have millions of dollars. No one is better than another person because they have tons of money. Financially, I'm cool. And, you know, if I don't like a situation, I'm going to leave. I'm going to walk out. You know, why should you put yourself through that? If, you know, times are tough. If you can find a job somewhere else, take it. If you can't, you got to stick with it. That's called life.
I'm glad you feel that way. You saying that, I'm thinking about everything that's going on with wrestlers, and you know, I know you must know a lot of them because they don't make it or things that happen to business. Some of them end up even blow their brains out, and you think like that, it tells me that you're nowhere near that kind of mentality. You know, that's good.
You got to understand, wrestling isn't based upon talent and ability. Wrestling is what other people envision you as. It's just like acting, in the sense of how come this person gets cast in this role and this person gets cast in that role. Once, if you're a good wrestler, your talent will prevail. But, you know, there's a lot of great wrestlers that don't even get that chance just because based upon their look or, you know, anything. You know, for a long time, WWE would hire someone who was 6'4" and jacked up and couldn't wrestle, as opposed to someone who can. But the best part about wrestling is it always changes, and you never know who is the writers or who are the bookers and who is going to. You could be the biggest loser one day, and the world champion the next day. And that's what a lot of guys got to hope for. It's not real. It's based upon what someone else thinks of you. And if a lot of guys who own companies base their characters of what they see themselves as. In ECW, Paul was a fat man who loved wrestling, and he based his characters on who the fans liked because he was a fan, you know. And he didn't care if a guy had abs because he didn't have abs, but you know what? He was great at that, you know, and he was great at everything in his career. He really was. He's still one of the best managers of all time, and he just looked at who can make money for the company as opposed to all the other behind-the-scenes bullshit that happens. Sorry that I cursed.
Yeah,
but I did say I had a 14-inch penis earlier, so who really cares?
Yeah, but that's why I was smiling, you know. It makes me happy to see that.
Well, I'm
you
happy
know?
I made you happy.
Some of y'all don't have that mentality. You know, don't let it get to you. You don't let it get to you, man.
You can't. There's a lot, you know, if it's, and you know, but there's politics in everything. There's politics in every sport. There's politics, you know, like right now, when we're shooting this, I'm looking at, like, you know, there's guys like Johnny Damon, Vladimir Guerrero. They're baseball players who are still can contribute, but they're not signed to any team. And you're like, I wonder why. You know, you don't know the behind the scenes of a lot of stuff. You know, maybe just some people think they're old and can't do it anymore. But I beg to differ. You know.
Yeah.
You can't be bitter. Wrestling has given me and a lot of guys a great life.
Nobody, it's that in life. Nobody should be bitter.
Nope. Negativity breeds negativity.
What made you unhappy to the point where you quit?
Just behind the scenes stuff. You know, I love wrestling since I was 9 years old, and I started not to like it. Just because, again, I felt like no matter how hard I work, I couldn't advance. And so I just didn't want to be like that.
Can you explain why you were called the heart and soul of ECW?
I think because I did so much. I was the heart and soul of ECW because I did so much behind the scenes. I wasn't just a wrestler. I was doing the merch. I was helping book. I was helping produce. You name it, I did it. You know, and I also stayed longer than the actual owner. He went to WWE before, and I still sat there holding on to everything. But it's all good.
I read that you write a weekly column for Week Standard in Canada.
Yes, I do.
How did that come about?
I met a guy on an indie show, and he was a big fan, and we were stuck in a car together for 3 hours, and he's like, man, you tell some really cool stories. You're a laid-back guy. I write an article. Would you like to do it? And I said, yeah. We'll try it out. He's a great editor. We're going to be working on my book together, and we're also, my column just got picked up all throughout Canada, and they wanted me to write in the UK, but they wanted like gossip and stuff, and I don't really know gossip unless what I see on the internet. And I just heard that I had a 14-inch penis. That's all stuff that was, you know, that's not me, but also, like, I don't know gossip. Like, the gossip you hear is the gossip that you read on the internet anyway, so why write about it in a newspaper? But again, I like my column. I like, you know, doing it. It's cool, something different. Something I always like writing and doing all stuff like that.
Why did you stop doing Tommy Dreamer TV?
I stopped doing Tommy Dreamer TV, one, because it took for a long time every, you know, week to do it, you know, to do the funny skits and to do the editing and all that stuff. I thought I would do a lot more hits than I was. I was averaging about 10,000 hits a week, which a lot of people told me was good. But, you know, Zack Ryder will do like 250,000, and then his little special friend Chiapetta did like 60,000 on his first show, and I was like, this kid's not even famous. But then what was the other reason? Oh, I got into a few disputes with YouTube. They,
Really?
first they pay you to run ads, and they basically stopped paying me because they were claiming that I was clicking on, like, I had suspicious activity, which was like I was clicking on like my own ads, which I never did.
Oh, okay.
But it
I
turns
understand.
out I had someone in Ireland always like clicking on all the pop-ups and everything, just whatever. And I was like, so let me get this straight. I fly to Ireland, click on a foreign computer, so I can get 2 cents a pop-up click. And then in the last episode, they also censored my show because I had a fake gun when I got shot, because I wanted to leave the show with a cliffhanger. And they censored me in a lot of countries because of violence, which there was, no blood, or it was just the fact that I showed a fake gun.
Yeah.
But yet I shoved a giant can of Right Guard down my pants to emulate Shawn Michaels' biker shorts when he was in DX back in the day. And on that same episode, and they had no problem with me showing a gigantic man penis, but showing a fake gun going pow pow was bad. So again, fighting big corporations.
How did your twin daughters get a shot on The Sopranos?
Just they did a print ad for Target. My wife was bored and saw an email. She submitted it. They won the
Wow. No inside connections?
no. They
Cool.
won the Target ad, which aired on Mother's Day, and then from there they got an agent, and we submitted that. She just took them down to the city for a paid audition, and they got the last 2 seasons of The Sopranos.
No doubt.
And I was on The Sopranos, and so was my wife.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
Yeah.
that. All right, did you plan on asking for more ahead when you got hit with the Singapore cane?
What was that?
Did you plan on asking for more ahead, or was it impulse?
The whole "thank you, sir, may I have another"? No, I knew I had to take the 10, and that was just more of, kind of like Rocky Balboa-esque of, come on,
So
bring it.
you did that on your own.
Yeah, pretty much.
Impulse on that moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
I mean, I knew I had to take the 10. That was part of the deal, which is so stupid. And, a lot of that whole Singapore cane stuff, you loosen the strings, but if you go back and look, there was nothing loose about it. I was getting hit with a real cane. Thank you, Sandman. May I have another?
You also appeared on the World We News music video. How
Yes.
did that come about?
Just old school fans of ECW, and they contacted somebody and they were out in Long Island, went and shot the video, had a great time shooting it, and they did big numbers on their video of, I think they've had 40,000 hits or something, and it's pretty cool.
I also read you did a episode with Mel Schwartz, Bounty Hunter.
That was back in the day. That was with the guy, I forgot his name. He was the actor, Friday Night Lights, Super 8 movie, very famous actor right now. He had his own TV show. That was through ECW. I've done a lot of,
Cool.
TV shows, some movies. I've got 3 movies coming up in 2012, and like doing all that stuff.
All right, I'm gonna end this. I think this is usually your last question on your show. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you had one last chance to say something to your fans, what would it be? Is that your last question that you usually ask?
Always. Good question. Pure genius came up with that question. I would say I'm a fan. I still am. I love wrestling, and I love every aspect of the wrestling business. And for the people that have supported me, I'm one of you, and I was just blessed to cross over the guardrail and still do what I've always wanted to do. I've been living my dream, and I'm still living my dream. And I think I'm proof positive that through hard work and determination and passion, you can be whatever you want to be. If it's not a wrestler, if it's a baseball player, doctor, lawyer, whatever you want to be. It's just, I'm a fan just like you, and thank you for being a fan.
Thank you for being on NoKayfabe.com. I appreciate it.
You got it.